Avalanche transceiver use. Learn a little bit about avalanche transceivers. This is again something you need to really go out and practice. If you don't know how to do it, go out and get a course from Colorado Mountain Club. Get out and really learn how to do it. Get some other friends together. Practice in the backyard, just trying to find beacons, etc. So it's very important. So Dan Hamm is from Alpine Rescue. He's going to talk about the transceivers. 14 years with Alpine Rescue. Been involved with all areas of rescues and searches and avalanches. The last 5 years, he's in the elite avalanche deployment team. These guys go in first. So a lot of knowledge, training goes in. They work every month on stuff about how to handle the avalanches. So this is the man to ask questions of. Dan, I'll leave it to you. Thanks.
Hi guys, my name's Dan, like you said, and if you guys have questions, we go through things, just speak up. Yeah, I don't have the long resume that Chris or next speaker Dale will have, but I owe all my knowledge and experience from the team and all the leadership there, in particular Dale. So you guys, I just want to get to know everybody in here a little bit, start a small group. So everybody put their hands up and start with everybody's hand up. Alright, you can put it down if you own a transceiver. Okay, okay, let's put the hands back up. You own the transceiver and you used it 3 times in the last year. Or more. 5 times or more. 6 times or more. 7 times or more. Okay,
keep our hands up.
Yeah, keep it up. Yeah. Okay, so we have some, just trying to gauge the experience level. And then the last one is hands up again. If you practiced more than 1 time last year searching or a scenario that's similar to a rescue. If I practiced more than 2 times, more than 3 times, more than 4 times, more than 8 times. Cool. Alright, so that's good. We got some people practicing. So that's one of the messages you'll see here today. It does take lots of practice. Anyway, we're going to keep it basic, 20 minutes, and if we have chances for questions at the end, we can get into maybe more advanced things that some of you have on their users. Go ahead and see the next slide. So, historically, the data supports that companion rescue is needed. We really launched transceivers in the 80s and the 90s. And so the data showed you that the shorter amount of burial time, the greater probability for survival. Okay. So that's where companion rescue, or what's called companion rescue, really came to be. The reality is only 50% of buried victims are found alive. People die of trauma, or there's other reasons that they end up being a victim, basically. So, anyway, if you do the math, it's not really that glorious. This is pretty exciting. Oh yeah, being buried 10 minutes, like the chances. But if only 50% of people are recovered, just multiply that by half. Fewer chances to live, and this kind of represents sometimes. So. All right, next one. So big picture, the discussion today is about the locate part, but when there is an avalanche accident, you really need to know these 3 pieces. And so I'll talk about piece 2 the most. But the call for help, historically, that wasn't always the case. It was, do your own searching immediately, then call for help. But folks have not made it because the call for help wasn't soon. So in Colorado, they can launch the avalanche deployment from Flight for Life. So that's the team that you mentioned at St. Restaurant. So an early call is good because the folks around here that are organizing the mission can start making decisions. We call Flight for Life. What are we going to do? The sheriff needs to know. Everything runs to the sheriff, basically. So an early call is really important because the biggest thing that folks miss is, okay, sweet, it's all exciting. We have the technology, we have the equipment to go take my friend out. Or, as you'll hear later, there's many cases where you're nearby and another group had an accident. And now you're part of that accident. But the big part is you got to provide some care at the end. So let's say you do locate somebody and they are alive and you need to care for them. We could take an hour. I mean, flights doesn't always fly, particularly if the weather's poor or something like that, or they're out on another call. So logistically, doing a full mission is a big deal. Get us going. So call early. Okay, so there are components of being able to locate somebody, or that locate part. That was the equipment is the transceiver, probe, and shovel. But some groups have been all everywhere everyone's buried. So I mean, you also have to have someone to actually do the rescue. So that piece sometimes people forget about or unaware of. So you always hear about the equipment, but it's really the people. I'll show you some other striking things that talk about it being a skilled person too. So number one, the Avalanche Transceiver. So not a PLB. Some of you are going to talk today. That's a personal locator. There has been folks that have been confused. They thought they had an Avalanche Transceiver, so they're going out for the day and they turn on their personal locator beacon. Well, they're walking around out there and we're getting signals that there's a call for help. So this beacon is done via satellite, and basically goes and gets passed on to our county sheriff that hey, there's a call in an area. Well, there was that incident with our group where we probably went or got called 2 or 3 times worth of pass for someone that was doing this. So it's a lot of man hours and people being sent out, possibly working on the situation because we think we have a serious situation. Anyway, so just be aware that it's different. So we talk to people that are purchasing transceivers. We notice I haven't been saying beacon, so that's kind of been the trend. Is let's not say beacon anymore in the Avalanche community in education. Let's say transceiver every time. That way, no one will be confused. For anything, really read your manual on the device. And there's more than 10 companies out there making them. The frequency is 457. Big thing recently in the last 5 years is how old is your device? If you're beyond 5 years, then you're probably not 3 antenna. And so 3 antenna technology really improved the devices. And if you don't have a 3 antenna device, you should really get it. That's where you should go. You always wear it inside and secure. You get quality batteries and keep the power above 50%. That's generally the rule. There are some manufacturers that have different information about their batteries. So just again, look at what your manufacturer wants you to do. The surge width is about 30 meters, and so some of the issues with some people using them is they are poor at recognizing distances or estimating them. When you do look at your device, these are all a bunch of old devices, so if you have probably any of these, I think these are some older that they would be with the antenna. But when you look at the display, say that's maybe 22 there, it's never greater, and it's in meters, so 22 meters. It's never greater than 22 because the signal can be curving. Okay? So in a straight line, it will be less than 22. What I find working with our team, and this is probably where I have this is the biggest thing I do with our team is in the startup for the season as we train folks to practice with our transceivers, set up scenarios and all that. And I get a chance to help people that never use their issues and so on. So very basic, or maybe some more advanced people. And I watch them, and just in my opinion, if you're just someone that's comfortable with electronics, that helps a lot. If you have spatial abilities, so some of us that's high or low, the higher your spatial abilities. Any experience with estimating distance and moving across the debris, it's often chunky or something like that, and stumble. So those are some of the things that are characteristics of people that end up having lots of success or can get good at it. They have those qualities. The other 2 pieces of equipment, the probe, the shovel, those are important pieces. There's times people have been out, they only have the transceiver. If you've ever been on Avalanche debris, it's very hard to do. So you need the other pieces. Years ago, there was plastic shovels out there. You don't really see that anymore. And people also, years ago, were breaking plastic shovels. So you don't have a plastic shovel that can be retired now. So So that someone's skilled in that very part, that I kind of asked earlier about the practice. Do some drills. The complication with doing drills is, you meet up with people to go out, and it's like, we want to go have fun. We envisioned this day, we were looking forward to it. We didn't think, like, let's spend the first half hour at the parking lot, just off the parking lot, practicing, making sure everybody's comfortable with the device. When you leave the parking lot, did you check with each other? You should definitely have your approach. Good to go. Do you have medical training? Just basic first aid type of stuff. Keeping somebody warm out there. All those little things, just little things like that that you don't think about. Do you carry a little splint? Sand splint or a cheek, get one of those. Take a little first aid kit. Get some training. And then keeping somebody warm, that would be a big thing in terms of carrying items for specific victims. As you go out, make sure you check in the parking lot, you head out. Make sure everybody in the group checks receive and transmit. And that includes the range. In fact, to help people with their estimation skills, walk away until you lose the signal. Be kind of clear, like mentally think, yeah, that's how far I've got. You leave it on the whole day and take a long lunch break. Just watch people in your group. So you speed into a hut for a day just to warm up, or you head back out. People sometimes will turn it off. I mean, the battery life, is generally very, very good. They're going to last days in my car. So, and so you want to just leave it on. And the guy, Paul Stem Morris, the forecaster for Colorado, another guy's really helped me, a good friend of Dale's. His quote's always on at the car and off at the bar. Oh, I put car up there. All right, so I put. Yeah, so off at the bar is what he would say. I should take the quotes away and clean it up and keep the bar thing. Okay, thanks. I like this. Yeah. We can't be clean. Kids are here. Kids are here. Okay, well, unfortunately, in 14 years of doing this, I've been on calls where one little piece of the puzzle wasn't right, and it ended up, someone didn't make it. So this is a small list. There's actually some other reasons I probably didn't put it there, so you can kind of do that. And you don't want this guy coming to get you, right? Right? Ouch. Do we have any questions or comments? We have a couple more slides, but I'll just see them checking in with you. All right. I don't know if there's any big ones there we want to talk about. Anyway, we'll get close to the cards. When you look at the way it's taught, or when you get your device, there'll be a nice diagram explaining this is how you do it. But they don't show the blocks of snow in the way, really, or the challenges there are when there's actual incident. This is a very sad case. Right? This is actually the traffic signal. So when you use your transceiver for a search, we kind of have this airplane concept about it. You're going to be moving very, very fast at the beginning, and that's called the signal search. When you're signal searching, your device again has 3 antennas. It's important to move it out of its while you're running in this first part, because you maximize the opportunity to find signal in different orientations. Now you don't want to move it too fast, because the processor in it is processing, right? So you've got to kind of mess this down. The course search, that's once you have a signal. You might slow down a little bit with your device, but you don't want to be one of those folks that are like, oh, it's 35, 34. You would like to probably see more urgency, all right? So on the course and coming in for the landing, make sure you're still moving pretty steadily, as best you can, depending on the conditions. Then we come in for the fine search, And the fine search, I'll talk another slide on that, is about the bracket. But there you're getting low and slow. Okay, so you're actually coming from there. And then you make sure you get your probe out, or hopefully you have others with you, and they know you're coming in for that landing, and they're thinking take that stuff out. And go. That's why you want to practice with your groups, so everybody has that understanding. And then the whole thing with digging, I mean, it's a 20-minute talk, right? So the whole digging piece too, there's a lot of research on how that's to be done best, but generally, you have a 1 meter burial, until it gets in a meter, strike, leave it in, and then step away, meter, meter and a half, and downhill, start moving snow. Because you don't want to be on top, and you dig in, now you're standing on the person, snow's falling back down in, and it's a real mess. So that's why I get that practice piece, because people overlook those things. Yeah, let's go to the next one. So I did have cards for you guys today. Take some and pass it around. Any extras we just leave back here. You want to make sure you have a new one. Someone said maybe they already have one. Take one of these and compare when you get home.
So with the transceivers that are coming out now, with like the multiple variable options and stuff like that, I guess my question is, why is there less variable? Because, I mean, just
Okay, so there's a question up here about multiple burials. And today's talk was keeping it basic, and I didn't really look at the area. No, let's do it now. The question was more like, why are there multiple burials? It happens because people make mistakes, and they underestimate the size of an avalanche on certain days in certain areas.
Hey man, what's up? Good seeing you again.
So that's one of the reasons it happens. You find it also happens a lot when people are climbing up. Because people have that, okay, we're going to ski one at a time on the way down. They've climbed up and they're in a group, or they're spread out in a group, and of course they underestimate it. So multiple burials is a part that we have to mention today, because as a basic thing, you want to do the basic skill, right? Well, the same phases, those 4 phases, you do those just again, right, in a multiple burial situation. Now you may advance to the course or the fine search quicker, depending on how close the 2 burials are. And so motion transceivers, or all of them, have a function where you are getting close. It just focuses on that and only gives you the close information. If something's 10 meters away, it ignores that. And there's a whole lot to talk about. There's advanced things. But it really comes down to practice, and these basics are just really important. I mean, because it's another transceiver buried. It's just another iteration of this. Anyway, I got you these. This is a clip from, this is an old card, and then you have the new one. I was wondering if you guys could just look through it quickly. In the first 5, 6 things, there's a major difference. Maybe you can't see it very well. Oh, actually, this one is newer than Dick. I don't know, Dale and I were looking at it. There's some differences between us, but the big one we want to point out is some of the old cards didn't have call for help very early. It had call for help. You'll see on my next slide, on the Canadian slide, call for help is very late. Could you go to the next slide?
yes.
Okay, so the Canadian one, call for outside helps here. Is it in the other one? Anywhere earlier? Yeah. So call for help's here in the 4th, and it's still in the 4th, so that's good. I know what we did is Dale and I talked the other day, and we went to make sure we got you guys the newer cards, just to make sure it's good. Go to the Canadian one. It's kind of interesting. I like the Canadian's version. You don't have the Canadian version, but it really breaks down the signal search, course, fine, and pinpoint. So I just clipped this off Google. But again, be careful. Some of their things could be old too. They may have changed their call help. See, we didn't used to quite get the our cell phones didn't quite work as well. They're working better each year, right, in the mountains. In Canada, maybe they're further away from help, right? The avalanches are bigger, things like that. So there's probably lots of reasons the Canadian avalanche experts and the Americans maybe aren't quite on agreement on every detail. So anyway, you should probably keep this in your pack. Go out and practice with friends and just review with them. If you want to pick up a couple extra, we have lots of them out there. Yeah, so they gave me 20, and obviously we could dive into more things in these cards. That's why I walked my over. Let's see what else I got. Find search bracket. I just wanted to point that out with you guys because I think that's a place where people stumble around. And it's drawn out pretty well in the card, I think, on the back. Yeah, it is. So I put this one on transmit. Guess one thing I tell you, when you start up in the car, you know, with everybody you're heading out, it's a good idea to just tell everybody, like, my battery went to 0. You know, check it. Turn it on. That check mark. But no, one of the checks that I didn't mention is turn on. It's also on like about 99. There's no worry for the day, right? Or a week if you'll do it in your car. Anyway, so what I'll do is invert the snow field for you. So normally snow would be down here at our feet. Let's flip it like this. So the transceiver's there. What I'll do is I won't go past the table. Okay, so you get the idea is at least a 1 meter burial. Okay. So I've done the signal search. I had one. You know, I was doing that. It came on. I'm excited. Okay, I'm closing. I'm going to slow down into the force search, but I'm still moving pretty quickly. So as I get in here now, I'm going to turn this way so you guys can see it. That's why I'm inverting the snow field. So it says 6.4, 6.5, 5.7. So now I'm really on the snow surface because that's where the table is for me. Falls. Now I'm almost low. So I'm going to walk through it. 3.1, 3. I do have multiple, which is interesting. So maybe I'm picking out downstairs. Anybody have a transceiver in here? No, I found a couple outside. Well, it happens a lot. When you do these things, you work with your friends before you go out. It's going to be the biggest hassle. Dude, I told you to turn it off. So 3.0. 3.2, 2.9, 2.8, 2.6, 3.2, 2.9. So what I want to do is go back to the lowest number. What was my lowest? You guys remember? 2.6. 2.6 is back here somewhere. So you can mark the snow. There's 2.5, 2.6, 2.8. Okay. Now I would go up and down at a right angle. So it's perpendicular, right? If you look at the picture. So I went up. Is it increasing? So notice when I went through, I went past it to make sure it was increasing. Then I came back to the low. Now I'm going down because the numbers are increasing. 2.5, 2.5, 2.6. So I'm not really able to get low enough to show you go to 2.7, 2.8. So now it's time to bust the probe out. Well, look where it is. It's on the chair over there. So if I'm probing here, that's why you see the diagram using spiral technique. So the deep. That's almost a 2 meter burial. That's a huge challenge. That's a huge effort. So remember the first thing: call for help. Okay, deep burials are a real problem for folks. Stick around for Dale's talk later. He may talk more about some more stats for you. All right, so we're getting low on time here. Keep in mind, the transceiver isn't a shield. Some people are excited. You know, I got my equipment, I got stuff, I don't even have a airbag. Does that mean you're going to take a greater risk? So that's a huge issue with the groups. Okay? I'm confident I got the gear. These guys, you recognize the picture?
We're just mentioning that.
So, you know, many factors impact the outcome. Deep burial. Those are traumas.
Avalanche, snow.
How long does it take to get a group there to rescue you when you really need care? All sorts of things. So ask yourself that question: would you go without the transmitter? So you would turn it off. Would I just ski that? Does it give you more confidence? Would you have it? Dale's up next. It's you can talk about where it's safe, what are the problems. you have to take awareness classes. You have to go out there and take Abbey 1. So Abbey 1 is run by by ARI. It's also a group big this hard. There's also groups out there running courses, and just make sure they're part of the American Avalanche Association, professional member. You're going to go pick up someone's course. Right? They'll follow the guidelines and curriculum that's laid out by AAA. That's outside of Peru. Okay, so get your gear, get some practice, get aware, get out with others, and hopefully some people in the group also medically train. Get out and have fun. I mean, it's just great getting out in the winter. Just beautiful times. This is going up to Essen, but you guys are on those trips. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah.
First aid kit contents with product level care. I just go with the big stuff. I'm not carrying like ibuprofen and all the Sam splint, quick clot, steri strips, mylar blanket. Is there anything else?
You sound well prepared. You guys think of anything else that? Yeah, what's that? Yeah, just warmth could be a big issue.
So I have a mylar blanket in there. I have stuff to stop bleeding and stuff to splint a fracture.
I like the trash bags with mylar blankets. It's kind of we recommend all year. Just because the mylar blankets really don't do a very good job of keeping heat in and keeping it dry.
I get
Real thick, like 4mm trash bag. You just have a hole in it. You go.
the other thought I had was I use a foam sleeping pad. I cut it down, just fit in my backpack, so it's right on my back. But I can take it out. So I take a lot of volume, but to get someone off the snow, it's just huge. I mean, that's where they're going to lose all their body movements there. Get them dry. I mean, maybe they're wet. So that's a whole nother problem.
Thank you, Dan. Any other questions for Dan? I know we've been running a little bit behind. We're going to have Dale Atkins. We'll give him a few minutes to get set up. If you need to use the restroom or to get a quick drink. But then we'll start literally in about 5 minutes.
Extra cards, anybody?
So how many are we going to go get an Avalanche Transceiver?
Most of them had something, right? It's just a matter of really practicing. The tough thing about practicing, right, is you have to use a transceiver to practice. You can't like practice on your own if you only have one transceiver, right? Fortunately, my wife has one, so
The thing I like to know is that my buddy knows how to use it better than I do.
For practice, how do you feel about non-free antenna receivers? Just buying an old one and throwing it out in the field.
Yeah, perfect. But be careful how old it is if you're going to do multiple, because some of the much older ones, they send a pulse where it's like the newer ones, it's pretty sharp and fast, where the older ones are long. So what happens, they override each other and they mess up people with how. So even though you have a transceiver, the modern ones are going to be for multiple. Most companies are making a simple one and then one that's for multiple barrels. And it has a masking feature. Well, the masking feature, when they're pulsing together,
So it reads the difference.
it masks both of them. And now you don't realize there's a second one, particularly that's close. It's complicated. So the masking feature, they're saying works maybe about 80% of the time, and with newer transceivers transmit. So you have to be careful and know how to use your transceiver. Know how to use it for the advanced stuff. Know how to use it. Know different techniques to handle all this. Don't just rely on the masking feature. You should know how to do microgrid search, three circle technique, and all that. You can go research those online. There's papers on them. So. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dan.
Stick around for Dale. Yeah, we're gonna leave at the shack. There's another event coming up, right? The Blue thing. Something else that we can.
We'll get going in just a minute or two if you need to stretch your legs. Did Dan say I was going to talk about some statistics for stats?
You did.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about some Bayesian probabilities. We'll look at frequency versus densities. We'll just see where that goes in propositional logic. Oh, wait, that's the wrong talk. We'll do Avalanche stuff, so don't worry about it later. So.
I was going to say, I'll have to wake him up.
Statistics, they call it. I mean, statistics. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
All right, thanks for coming out, supporting Alpine, and have an opportunity to learn some things. I have to try not to handle this.
Get a chance to check
So
out
I'm
the
not
vendors outside? Spend some money? Yeah, yeah. Uh-oh.
So what's been the best part of the day? Everything. We like to hear that. Oh, that's cool. And when you go back out, if they're still there, I know it's getting late in the day, but please tell our sponsors, the people who are making this possible, the shops and the brands that have come up to help support us and to support you. So thank you. Anybody want to learn about Bayesian? Probably no. Okay, Kristen. So I guess I'm on, and we'll go with that. I just want to start with a couple of little photos here, a little video footage to get us back into the mood of winter. It's kind of hard to talk snow and avalanches when it's 75 degrees out there, as nice as it is. That's actually just outside Ashland.
Discussion starts in 1 minute.
Oh wait, I guess.
Avalanche presentation, 1 minute.
Or less.
Good.
If we run out of rescue time, we'll take a little bit longer, but we'll just speed it up a little bit. We'll just see where it goes here. Actually, we'll just do a quick sound check on this. We'll just see what happens.
While you're doing that, Dan, or Dale, I'm going to just go through your resume real quick. This will take 40 minutes. I better show. Dale's been around for a long time. I first got on the team back around '83.
Thank you.
And he was already an old guy back then. He's been on the team since he's like 12 years old.
My voice changed.
More than 30 years experience working in avalanches,